Hello and welcome coders to the Sky Coding. This is chapter 8 and in this session we will see clauses. Clauses is a very important concept of SQL. So basically clauses we use to retrieve the data from several tables. We will see all those clauses one by one and we will do the practical, then your concepts will be more clear. Okay, and let's do the recap and let's see about the previous session. Chapter 7 we have basically seen all types of operators. Okay, so the link for the chapter 7 part 1 and part 2 will be given in the description box. So basically clauses we use to retrieve the data from various tables, okay, which we have created in the database. Okay, and basically clauses as a where clause, distinct clause, so these are just a keywords. You can call them as a keywords or you can call them as statements to handle information which is just being fetched from the table. Okay, and they help to operate a group of data and apply it to required conditions. Okay, they will just help you to specify any condition and you can just get the data based on some conditions. Okay, we have used this where clause lots of times in the previous sessions. Okay, so I have just created these tables and we will see all these types of clauses and we will write the query in front of you, then your concepts will be more clear. And basically we use clauses to retrieve the data, to fetch the data from the tables, but we cannot use the clauses to insert the data. Okay, so this is a limitation here, that MySQL clauses cannot be used to insert a new data. Okay, and we can just use single or multiple clauses while working on the single table or while doing a single query. And basically uses of clauses is that we can use the clause for searching some data in the table. We use clauses for sorting the data based on some condition from the tables, and we use clauses for grouping the data, means same data we can group, and we use for filtering the data, means we can just put some condition and we will just filter the data in the fetched query. Okay, and we have basically 7 types of clauses: where clause, distinct clause, from clause, order by, group by, having, and limit. Okay, so we will see all these clauses one by one. Okay, so for that we have basically created one database, that is chapter 8. So let's use this database and let's refresh the schema, and we have just created this table employee. This is just a simple table we have used earlier as well, which is having employee ID, name, address, salary, working hours. Okay, and employee ID is just a primary key here. Okay, and we have inserted some data. Okay, so first of all we will just see about the where clause. Okay, so basically what is a where clause? Okay, so where clause is just used with select, insert, update, delete. Okay, you can call it as a CRUD to filter the results. Okay, we can just filter the results while working with the select, insert, update, delete. Okay, we have used a where clause earlier in the our every video. We have used the where clause. Okay, you can see and select ST from products, where product ID. We have seen this thing earlier also. Okay, so we can use the where clause with select, insert, update, delete, and we will see a where clause first. Okay, so for where clause we can use the where clause with single condition, means we can put the single condition. We can use the and operator, we can use the or operator, and we can use the where clause with and or operator. Okay, that's why we have covered all of the operators in the previous session. Okay, so that you can understand the concepts of the operators, then you can just apply and use those operators while working in the clauses. Okay, so let's see with single condition first. Okay, how can we put the single condition? Okay, so for single condition what we are going to do is let me just check this table. Okay, so this is an employee table and it is having 5 employees. Shivam, this is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and we have these columns. Okay, so we will try to fetch the data. Okay, suppose that I want to check the data for employee address as Lucknow. Okay, so let me check, let me write the where clause query here. Okay, we have done this thing already. Okay, so you must be knowing about this thing. Okay, so I want all data, so I will write select st from, and my table name is employee, and we will just put where keyword here, where clause, where, and you can put your condition where emp address. This is my column name, emp address is, suppose that I want for Lucknow, so I will just write Lucknow where, and I will give this semicolon. Okay, so it will show you all of the data from the table where address is Lucknow. As in my case, address is Lucknow for only employee ID 1, so it will show you like that way, that employee ID. You can see you got employee ID 1, employee name Shivam, and employee address is Lucknow, and you can see all those details of all employees who belongs to Lucknow. Okay, as here in my case we are having only one employee ID, so we got one. Okay, and suppose that you want to use with and operator. Okay, and operator, how can you use the and operator with the where clause? Okay, so let me just copy this and you can just put the 2 condition here. Okay, so you can just put select asterisk from employee, and let me show you all of the data. Okay, So let's select a string from employee, and suppose that you want to just fetch the data based on some another condition as well. Okay, where address is Lucknow, and you can just put here and you can use the AND operator. We have seen that how we are using AND operator. Okay, you can, and we can write here working hours. You can use any column. Working hours is greater than, you can just write greater than 6. Okay, greater than 6. Okay, so this time it will just check for these two conditions. Okay, this condition should also be true and this condition should also be true, then it will show you that data. Okay, as this is just a working of the and operator. We have seen the working of and operator, okay, in the previous session. You can watch from description box for better understanding of the operators. Okay, because operator is a very important concept. Without operator, how can we work with these clauses? Okay, so let's run this. Okay, you can see we got only employee id 1, where working hour both conditions are going true here. Employee address is also Lucknow and working hours is 7 here. 7 is greater than 6, that's why we got. Okay, and if you will change this to this less than, okay, and let's run, then we are not getting any data because here employee address is Lucknow. This condition is going true, but this condition is going false. You can modify this thing daily, so you can see we are not getting any data. Why we are not getting? Because for the employee address daily we are having 9. Okay, so you can give working hours is greater than 8. Okay, and if we will run this, then you can see we got 9. Okay, let me write this thing here. Okay, and you can just use this thing with or as well. Okay, we have seen that thing. So select asterisk from employee and you can just put here or operator. Okay, you can see we are getting all of the data. If any one of the condition between these two condition is true, then it will just fetch the data from there. Okay, these things we have seen in the working of those operators. Okay, and you can use these things with the combination as well, and or combination. You can use this where clause with these operators. Okay, with and or operators in one all. Okay, so you can just write the query select asterisk from employee where, and let's write for where emp address is equals to Lucknow and emp name is equals to 7. Okay, this is my one condition with and operator, and now we will just write or operator and we will just write another. Okay, where emp id is greater than let's check for the employee IDs in the table. So we are having 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so you can just give here employee ID is greater than 1. Okay, and you can use and or operator in the single query. Okay, and if you will just give here 2. Okay, you can see it is just giving all of these things, but it is just skipping 2 because here employee address is Lucknow. This condition is going true here, that's why this condition is going true, that's why one employee ID will come here. Okay, and it is just skipping 2 here. Why it is skipping? Because we have just given employee ID is greater than equals to, we have not given greater than or equals to. Okay, if you will give here 4 now, then it will show you only 5 here, but it is just skipping all of the data, but it is just showing one employee ID. One employee ID it is showing because of this condition. Okay, so this is we can use in the pair. We can use and or operator in the same query. Okay, so now this is all about the where clause. This is just a very simple, and now we will see about the distinct. Okay, distinct keyword, distinct clause. Okay, so basically distinct we used to remove the duplicate records from the table. Okay, and we can just fetch only the unique records from the table by using this distinct keyword. Okay, so for that let me check the data first. Okay, so let's copy this select query from here, and let's check out the data. Okay, so let's check out, let me check whether we are having any duplicate values. So we are not having any of the duplicate values here. Okay, you can see everything is different. Okay, so what we will do, we will just insert another data. Okay, let's insert employee ID 6 and name will be Abhishek, and let's change this address to Lucknow. Okay, Lucknow. Okay, so let's change the address to Lucknow and let's run this. Okay, so now we have the duplicate values, I think. Okay, You can see Abhishek is 2 times here, Lucknow is 2 times here, okay, and this salary is 2 times, and this 10 working hours system. So we are having this duplicate value, okay. So how can we just remove this duplicate value from the first query, okay. So for that we will just use this distinct keyword, okay, and we will write the query like this way: select, and we will just write distinct keyword, okay. You can give the column name, okay. Suppose that I want to give the column name as empty address, okay, empty address, and now my table name is employee, and we will run this, then we will see that, okay. You can see we are getting Lucknow, Delhi, Noida, Bangalore, Mumbai, but we are having Lucknow 2 times, okay. You can check here, we are having Lucknow 2 times, so it is just skipping one Lucknow, okay. Why? Because Lucknow is a duplicate values. Here we are having Lucknow 2 times, that's why it is skipping. And this is the work of the distinct keyword, that you have to just remove the duplicate values, and it will just show you the unique values, okay. So this is all about this distinct, and you can just change the here. Suppose that I want for name, so I will just write emp name, so it will just skip one Abhishek, okay. As we are having Abhishek 2 times, so it will just remove one Abhishek, and we will get only 5 names, okay. You can see 2 to 4 and 5, and it has just skipped one Abhishek, because Abhishek is the duplicate values, okay. So this is how you can use the distinct keyword to remove the duplicate values and get the unique values, okay. So now let's move to our third clause, that is from clause, okay. So from is just we are just using here select asterisk from employee, select asterisk from employee, okay. So this is just a from clause, okay. So from clause is just used to select some records from the table, okay, and we can also use this from clause to retrieve the data from multiple tables or the single table. Basically we use from for just retrieving and fetching the data from the tables. As you can see here, we are just writing select asterisk from employee, from here we are writing, okay. So we will see about the from clause, that how can we use the from clause, okay. So we will see that how can we use the from clause on one table and on multiple tables as well, okay. So let me use this for one table first, okay. One table, okay. So if you want to use this for one table, then what you have to do, you are just writing this query in select asterisk from and employee, this is just on one table, okay. You can see we are getting all of the data, okay. So this is how you can use in one table, and you can just put any condition where emp id is greater than 4. You can give any condition. You can use two clauses as well. As you can see, we have written one point in earlier that we can use the multiple clauses on the single table. You can see tables use either single or multiple clause, okay. And we have tried this thing, select as we are using from clause here, and we are just using where clause as well here, okay. And you can use the group by as well. We will see group by later on, okay. So this is how you can use the multiple clauses, and this is just a simple thing, okay. So now we will see that how can we just retrieve the data from two tables using the from clause, okay. So for that we will just use two tables, and we will just see joins here, okay. As we have not covered joins, so we are not going to explain joins briefly, and we will see joins in the upcoming videos, okay. Inner join, left join, right join, outer join, okay. So for that let me first of all use the inner join, okay. Inner join, okay. Let me correct the spelling for inner join, and we will just do the inner join, and we will just see that how can we use the from clause to fetch the data from multiple tables, okay. So for that let me check my database. As you can see, we are having this employee table which I am just using earlier, and we have used this employee table in our two clauses. So let's check the data for this student table. Select asterisk from student, okay, and let me show you that data, okay. Then we will just join these tables, employee and student table, okay. You can see student table is there, and we are having this data, so we will just join these tables based on this employee id. Student id we are having here, and in our employee table what we are having in our employee table, we are having employee id. Let me show you again, okay. So in our employee id we are having emp id, okay. So we will use these ids, employee id and student id, for joining those tables, okay. So for that we will just simply write select suppose that employee dot employee id. We are just using this employee id from this employee table, okay, and we will just use this student id from student table, okay. So let's check the column names, so for student, okay. For student we are having std id, and for the employee we are having emp id. So we have to view those columns, okay. So we are selecting employee id, okay. So emp underscore id, we are selecting emp id from this employee table and student id from this student table. Okay, and after that we will just write, we are just selecting these things from student, and we will just use this inner join. Okay, inner join employee table. Okay, employee table, and where I want to join on student dot stdid is equals to employee dot employee id employee dot emp id. Okay, so this is just a simple inner join. Okay, we will discuss this thing joining in the upcoming videos. Okay, then you will better understand this thing. Okay, so we are just selecting employee id from this employee table, and we are selecting student id from student table, and we are just using from keyword from student, and we are just joining the student table with the employee table, where we are just putting the condition where student id is equals to employee id. Okay, where these two things are matching, then our table will be just joined. Okay, so let's run this and let's see. You can see we are getting employee id is equals to student id. You can see 1 2 3 4 5 6, these are employee ids and these are student ids we are getting here. Okay, so if you check the student table, we are having six IDs, means 6 rows, and in the employee table also we are having 6 rows. Okay, and if you will try to insert one more row to the employee table, then that row will not come, because we are having suppose that 6 rows there, and if you will just insert this thing, then let me show you that thing, that example as well. Okay, and now if we are going to run this query, then you can see we are just getting 6 rows, because this 6 is equals to this 6 employee id is equals to 6 student id. We have put this condition where student id is equals to employee id, then it will show you that data. Okay, you can see, but in the employee table you can see we are having 7, this thing we have inserted now. Okay, this 7 employee id, here we are having 7 rows, 7 employee id, and here we are having in the student table we are having 6 student id. Okay, so it is just skipping last one, because here we have put this condition where student id is equals to employee id. Okay, that thing we will cover later on. Okay, in join. Okay, and if you want to use any other join as well, okay, suppose that you want to use the outer join, then you can use outer join. Outer join, let me take for. Okay, so left outer join, and if you will run this, then also you can see we are just getting this thing. Okay, so you can use just joins of you on the from clause. Okay, you can use this from clause for working on the joins, and you can fetch the data from multiple tables. Okay, so this is the use of from clause. You can use to retrieve the data from multiple tables. Okay, and suppose that you want some any other columns as well, so you can just write here another column. Suppose that I want student dot name. Okay, and if you will run this, so it will show student name. Okay, and if you want employee name, so we will just write employee dot emp name, and if you can run this, then you can see we are getting names as well for employee and student. Okay, so you can use those things. Okay, so now let's see about the fourth clause, that is order by clause. Okay, basically we use order by clause to sort our data in ascending or descending order. Okay, you can sort our data based on some ascending or descending order. Okay, there may be some requirements to fetch the data based on ascending or descending order, as in our phone as well. We are suppose that we are having lots of songs. Okay, and you want to see that whose are newest songs, oldest songs, A to Z in the alphabet wise, you want to do the sorting. Okay, so that's just a sorting we will do in the tables as well. Okay, so for that sorting, you suppose that you want to sort the data. First of all, we will see sorting based on the we will just use this ascending order attribute. Okay, and after that we will just use descending order attribute. Okay, and after that we will just use ascending order and descending order. Okay, in pair. Okay, ascending and descending order together to fetch the data from the table. Okay, so first of all we will just simply use order by clause. Okay, simply use order by clause. Okay, we will simply use. After that we will see ascending order, descending, then these ascending and descending both together. Okay, so for a simple we can just simply fetch the data based on some conditions. Okay, order by emp names, or like that way we'll just write. Okay, as we are just doing the sorting. Okay, select hashtag from employee where, and suppose that I want to do the sorting on emp name. Okay, so emp underscore name, emp name is equals to emp name. Okay, okay, you can just give okay, let me give first of all that emp address where clause condition. Okay, so suppose that I want to give where emp address is Lucknow. Okay, EMP address is Lucknow, and we'll just give order by clause. Okay, order by EMP name. Okay, so it will just order those by EMP name. So you can see it is just ordering our data. You can see A alphabet is coming first, so it is just showing Abhishek first, and after that it is showing Shivam, as you can see. But we are having employee ID of Shivam as 1, but it is just showing this Abhishek first and S later on. Okay, because it is just doing the sorting here. Okay, on based on alphabetical wise. Okay, so this time you can use the sorting. Okay, and if you want to use the sorting on any other table, as we are having a student table, right? So we can use that thing as a select history from student, and you can just order by name. Okay, and if you will run this, then you can see it is just ordering the names A, and after that it is just giving N. Okay, and if we will check the data, okay, let me show you the data of the student table. Okay, so in the student table we are having all of the A data, then N, then A. Okay, so it is just doing the sorting. Okay, so you can just do the sorting based on any name or any column. You can use any column for sorting. Okay, so this is a sorting. This is just a simple sorting. Okay, and suppose that you want to do the sorting of in ascending order. Okay, so you can just simply copy this thing. Okay, let me copy this thing. Okay, for employee. Okay, select a strip from employee where address is Lucknow, order by EMP name, and you can just use ascending order. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, you can see we are getting A, and now we are getting S. Okay, and if you want to use in descending order, then you can just write here DESC, and if you will run this time you can see we are getting S first and A later on. Okay, so this is just as if you can take as alphabetical wise. This is just a simple thing. If you are just giving ascending order, so it will just go 1 2 3 4 or A B C D E F G H. Okay, and if you are just giving descending, so it will start from Z like that. Okay, so if you want to use this ascending and descending order together, so you can just use like this way, as EMP name is in descending, and let me show you here. Okay, you can see EMP name we are getting in descending order, and if suppose that you want EMP working hours. Okay, EMP working and working hours. Okay, and suppose that as my column name is just working hours, so you can just put working hours, and suppose that you want working hours in ascending order, so you can give like this. Okay, so by this we can use ascending and descending on the as together as well. Okay, so this is all about this thing, that how can you use this order by clause, and we have seen how can we use this ascending and descending order. Okay, you can see here example as well. You can see we are getting all the things. Okay, you can see EMP name we are getting in descending order. You can see S, and after that A, and after that working hours we are getting in ascending order 7 10 10. Okay, so this is all about the order by, and now let's see about group by. Okay, so group by clause is just used to collect the data from multiple records. Okay, and you can just group the result by one or more column. Okay, it is just basically used with the select statement only. Okay, and you can use the aggregate functions as well with this group by clause. Okay, we have not seen about aggregate function, but we will see in the upcoming video. Okay, so what about aggregate function? Okay, so aggregate function is just let me give you some example about aggregate function. Is there are lots of aggregate functions, we will see in the functions video. Okay, so suppose that you want to use this order by group by clause with these functions, so how can we use this group by, and how can we group the data? So for that, first of all, what we will do, we will use this group by clause with count. Okay, then we will use with sum. Okay, sum we are having now, then after that we will use this minimum, then we will use this with maximum, and then we will see with average. Okay, and we are having one more function. Let me write here sum. Okay, first of all, let me show you the use of this group by clause with the aggregate function count. And suppose that you want to count something. Okay, count columns, count on the basis of names, or we will just use count and grouping of the data. Okay, so suppose that you want to use this count, so you can just use this thing. Okay, suppose that I want to fetch the address. Okay, so we will just write select emp address, and we will just count. Okay, and for the count you have to use like this. Okay, and my table name is emp employee table, right? Employee table. Okay, and we will just group this thing. Okay, group by, and I want to group with emp address. Okay, so now we will run this. Okay, you can see we are just getting this thing. Okay, we are getting Lucknow 3 times and rest all the things in one time. Okay, so this is just a grouping. Okay, as address Lucknow is just 3 times here. Okay, and if you will check the data in the table, then you can see select string from. Okay, select string from employee, and you can see here we are having Lucknow 3 times. Okay, 1 2 3, we are having Lucknow 3 times. Okay, so it is just grouping the data and it is just showing Lucknow 3 times, Delhi 1 time, Noida 1 time, Bangalore 1 time. Okay, so this is how you can use the count function with the group by clause. Okay, now let's see how can we use this sum function with the group by clause. Okay, so for using the sum, suppose that you want to sum the working hours or salary as we are having in my table. Okay, so let's show you the data, then we will write the query like that. Okay, you can see we are having here MP salary and working hour. First of all, use with working hours. Okay, so we will just write here select, and suppose that I want just name, so I will just write select emp name, and suppose that I want sum for working hours. Okay, working underscore hours. Okay, I want sum of working hours, and from where I want, from our table name is employee table. So let's run this. This time we will give, okay, what it is saying. Okay, we have to just use the group by. Okay, I forgot to use the group by. Okay, sorry for that. We have to use group by. Suppose that I want to group this time by with name. Okay, so I will just write like this and let's run this. You can see we are getting names and we are getting working hours. Okay, for Abhishek, as Abhishek is 3 times, one Abhishek is for 10, so 10 into 3, 10 3 is a 30, so we got Abhishek working hour as 30. Okay, you can see here. Okay, let me show you the data. You can see Abhishek is 3 times, 1 2 and 1. Okay, Abhishek is having 3 times, right? 1 2 3, 10 10 10 30, we got 30. Okay, so and suppose that you want sum of salary, so you can give like this way. Okay, what it is saying, and okay, we are having emp salary column. Okay, emp salary. Okay, if we will run this, then you can see we are getting the salary, and for Abhishek it is just multiplying 3 times because we are having Abhishek 3 times. You can see it is just having sum. Okay, you can see 73,000, it is just 73 into 3, you can just do and you will get that thing. Okay, and if you want with minimum, so you can use with minimum as well. So for that we will just you can here you can give the alias name as well. We will see this thing in the minimum. Okay, select emp name and we will just write here suppose that I want minimum salary. Okay, so I will just write here minimum salary from employee, and suppose that you can give here as use as keyword, and you can just give new name is alias name. Okay, so let's write here minimum salary. Okay, and if you will run this, you will get minimum salary. Okay, and see we are getting all of the minimum salaries here. Okay, as here we are having single names, that's why. As you can see earlier we are getting Abhishek some another salary. Okay, if you will check here, then you can see we are getting 2,19,000. Okay, and if you will run this, then it is just showing minimum salary of every employee. Okay, so this time you can use the minimum function as well like this way. Okay, and you can use this max as well. You can just simply give here max for getting the maximum value, and let's run this, and you can see we are getting maximum salary. We are just working on some dummy data. Okay, that's why you will get all these salaries same here. Okay, because we are having same data. Okay, same only suppose that we are having one employee ID Shivam, so Shivam is just one here. Okay, that's why it is like this. Okay, you can see we got the maximum salary as well. Okay, and suppose that you want to get average, so you can just give here average, and suppose that I want average for working hours. Okay, so you can just use like this working hours as a total working hours, and let me remove this thing, total working hours from employee, and we are just using employee name. Okay, you can see total working hours, it is just giving some average. Okay, so by this way you can use these things or these functions. Okay, these functions we will see in brief. Okay, in the upcoming video. Okay, So the link will be given in the description box for this aggregate functions. Okay, so by this we can use this group by clause as well. Okay, so okay, this was for average. Okay, so let's write here for average, and here let's write max. Okay, max, and this is for average. Okay, so this is all about this group by clause, and now we are left with having clause, and after that we will see the limit. Okay, having clause is just a very simple, is basically having clause is used by the group by clause, and it will just always return the rows where condition is true. Means having means suppose that we want to check that this table is having this data or not. Okay, in that case we will just use this having clause. Okay, so suppose that I want to use the having clause here. Okay, so suppose that let's copy the same thing. Okay, and let's paste here. Okay, so select emp name, and suppose that I want sum. Okay, sum of working hours as total working hours from employees, and from employees group by, we are just grouping on the basis of emp name, and we will just write here, and we will just use having. Okay, having sum of, suppose that sum of working hours is greater than or smaller than, we will use. Okay, having sum of working hours, suppose that greater than 5. Okay, then we will run this. Okay, okay, what it is saying, unknown column. Okay, okay, let's correct the spelling for working hours. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, you can see we are getting all of those employee names where working hour is greater than 5. Okay, you can see here we are having all of the employee name. Okay, and if you will give here 8. Okay, so 8 greater than is only this one, Ranjit and this Abhishek. Let's run this, and you can see we are just getting Ranjit and Abhishek. Total working hour is 9 and 30. Okay, so by this way you can use the multiple clauses as well. You can see here we are using this from clause, group by clause, having clause. So we are using 3 clauses here, and we are grouping the data based on this employee name, and we are just using this having some working hours. So it will just check the data, and it will show you the those working hours where working hour is greater than 8. Okay, you can see like this you can use the having clause. Okay, so having is just a very simple. If you will work on these clauses, then your concepts will be more clear. Okay, so you have to just practice these things by using lots of examples. Okay, available on the web. Okay, so simply you can use this having clause. You can just put here average, maximum, minimum. Okay, as we have used here sum, minimum, maximum, average, count. You can use all those aggregate functions with having clause as well. Okay, so I'm just giving this to you. You can use this with maximum, minimum, count. Okay, and you can give average. Okay, you can use these functions for using this having clauses. Okay, you have to just practice, then your concepts will be more clear about having clause. Okay, so now we are just left with limit. Okay, so limit is just a very simple thing. Suppose that we are having 10 million records in our table. Okay, so suppose that you want just 10 records from that 10 million. Okay? So you can just put the limit. Okay, so for limit, suppose that let me put here select, suppose that I want all of the data. Okay, select stick from employee. Okay, and let me show you that data. Okay, as you can see. Okay, let's not use employee table, let's use student table. Okay, student. Okay, so you can see in the student table we are having 6 rows. Okay, you can see here we are having 1 2 3 4 5 6 student ID. We are having 6 data. Okay, and suppose that I want just 3 rows. Okay, so I will just put the limit here. Okay, so for putting the limit on any select query on any table, you have to just use the limit keyword, limit, and suppose that I want just 3. So you will just run this time, you will just get 3 rows. Okay, so whenever you will execute this, then you will just get 3. Okay, and suppose that you want 2, so you can just go 2. You want 5, you can do 5. Okay, by this way you can just put the condition. Okay, and you can just put the limit to any fetched data. Okay, as here we are having just 6 rows, so it's just a very simple thing to check all the data. And suppose that you are having 10 million records and you want 100 records from that 10 million. Okay, so you can just put the limit like this. Okay, select a stick from student limit. Suppose that you want 100. Okay, so you can just put 100, and suppose that student table is 10 million records, so it will just show you just 100 records, 100 rows from that 10 million. Okay, so by this way you can just put the limit on any of the table. Okay, on any of the table to fetch the data, some data. Okay, so this is how you can just put the limit. Okay, this is just a very simple thing. Okay, limit clause. Okay, so that's all about this session, and we have seen all of the clauses here. And from the next session, maybe we are going to start the keys, primary key, composite key, foreign key. Okay, and after that we will see the indexing. Indexing is a very important concept. Okay, and after that we will see functions, aggregate functions. Okay, so subscribe my channel for stay tuned of this MySQL tutorial series and all of the programming concepts. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Bye, take care of yourself guys, and all of the other videos mentioned link will be given in the description box. You can watch from there.